19 seasons as an MLB pitcher, and he's part of MLB Network's coverage of the world of baseball, including Yankees at Red Sox tonight and tomorrow night at 7 Eastern Time. He's Al Leiter. How you been, Al?
Good, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I don't even know what to make of last night. What do you make of last night in Fenway Park?
You sound a little down. You sound a little.
Well, no, I mean,
up.
no, I know it's early, but it seems that things are nothing's going right for Aaron Boone in the early going. So I'm wondering what to take. And meanwhile, on the flip side, Alex Cora is 9-1. So is Mickey Callaway. Two rookie managers are 9-1 right now. So what do you take out of it?
You know, I mean, you alluded to the statistic there with the blowout, the 9 runs in the 1 inning in the 6th. I think, listen, do I think that this lineup is going to score the Yankee lineup? Yes. Are they going to hit a lot of home runs? Yes. I think there's so much offense to go around. Did we think that there was going to be a lot of strikeouts? Yes. I think when I look at the roster, and I'm just thinking out loud as you turned through it to me, I always think about when a couple things. When you have high expectations for a team that hasn't been there per se, and I'm saying, dare I say, the New York Yankees, and I know they've got all of the world championships, but I really believe this, Rich, the teams that I was on that had, we went to the World Series and won a world championship, and I was lucky enough to be on a couple of them. You know, there was always a couple guys when you struggled or things just didn't feel right and the rudder was kind of flapping in the back of the boat, you kind of looked to the guy, whether it was a Winfield or whether it was a Paul Molitor or whether it was the late Darren Dalton who was traded over at the deadline. We had a lot of great players, and I look at the Yankees now, and as good as they're going to be, and I believe in them, I really do. You look at the team, and it's either a young team or guys that haven't been there, done that. And I think if you look at the Astros, my point is this, Rich, there's always great young talented players. You go through a couple rough patches, usually 2 or 3, even playoff teams. You don't want an elongated losing streak. And you kind of turn to the guy who either is starting or he's on the back end of his career, and he kind of takes the guys to dinner, and you hang and you talk about, the experiences and how you get through this. I'm looking at the roster now, and yes, of course, you have CC Sabathia, who's down with an injury. There's some really nice players, but there really isn't the guy. Carlos Beltran a couple years ago, Matt Holliday last year. I know Gardner's been around a long time and have been part of the organization, but a lot is being thrown on still young, and I will say inexperienced. Now, Giancarlo Stanton's been around, and he is an established MVP-type player. But, where do you go? Didi Gregorius, love him. Starting out has been super. But, Tyler Austin at first, Miguel Andujar. You got Robinson, who they bring up now in the outfield. And, of course, Judge, as great as he is, he's a young player. Gary Sanchez, I know we keep talking about Stanton, but Sanchez, has not hit. He's been really bad. I mean, I think he's under 100. So when that happens, you need a little calmness. You need a little sense of, who do we turn to kind of thing. And they're going to be fine. And I'm not painting a picture that, they're going to be, this is going to continue. But, again, you come out of spring training, there's this anticipation that your team was a win away from going to the World Series. Nobody expected that last year. And now with the addition of Stanton, this team is destined to go to the postseason and World Series.
Al Leiter here on the Rich Eisen Show. So which has been the most pleasant surprise for you so far this early part of this season? There's a couple of that might be a candidate, but what do you have for me? A couple weeks in here, Al.
For Major League Baseball as a whole?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I mean, the Mets just glare out with the spectacular. Listen, we knew that the Mets were going to be good based on what? Their starting pitching. Are they going to be healthy? We knew that capability. While I'm impressed with the 9-1 and with the Red Sox, I'm not terribly surprised that they're off to shoot. But I mean, listen, the Mets being 9-1, fantastic. Who would have figured you get rid of your iconic outfielder and your ace pitcher, the Pittsburgh Pirates, respectively, Garrett Cole, and Andrew McCutchen, and you're now first place in the Central after 10 games, 8-2. That, to me, is another nice, pleasant surprise. I thought Arizona would be solid. So for the positive plus side, no question about it. I think the Pirates and the Mets really have stood out.
Al Leiter here on the Rich Eisen Show. Mike Scioscia said Ohtani reminded him of Dwight Gooden. Your thoughts, Al Leiter?
Wow. I'll tell you what, Mike Scioscia, that's a good comparison in the sense with, other than the split finger that Dwight Gooden didn't have. I mean, Ohtani, to me, I still think, and I'm going to stay by it, only because it hasn't happened since Babe Ruth, that I think Ohtani eventually will be just a pitcher. And it's not that I want that, because I think it's really cool to see a player that has the ability that Ohtani's showing now that can hit and pitch. But he's just so good, Rich. I mean, here's a guy that's consistently in the mid to upper 90s. He's got 2 breaking balls. He's got the big curveball, as you alluded to with Scioscia's comparison to Dwight Gooden back in the day. But Ohtani's split finger, I mean, it's very similar to a lot of the Japanese pitchers. And I think of Tanaka when thinking about Yankees and watching Tanaka up close. So right now, I mean, this guy, he's got it all. 13 innings and the 18 strikeouts, phenomenal and exciting. I think he's the type of guy that a lot of people are going to be watching and bearing down at, watching him a lot closer. The fact that you got a possible two-way player, and how many players over the years since Babe Ruth tried it and couldn't do it.
Right. It just seems to be, again, I know this is first blush and could be overreaction, but just why not just, I guess that's the way Scioscia's going to play it, right? Is that he's going to throw him out there every 5th day, give him about 3 starts during a week. Last night we saw him because I guess Scioscia gave everybody what they wanted, which was a pinch hit appearance against Bartolo Colon, which was just something I will never forget. I'm so glad Scioscia gave us that last night. But I guess that's the way he's going to handle him, right? I mean, that's the way it's going to go. He can't sit him in between starts. Al, do you think?
You know what? So, truthfully, Rich, I haven't really seen exactly how he's handled him between his 2 starts now. But my guess tells me you don't play him the next day, the day after a start, just because shoulder, elbow, training in the training room with your trainer, into the weight room, doing all of your really hard work. That's your hard work day. My imagine is this where he is? Game day 2, 3, 4, or day 2, 3. I wouldn't play him every day before his start. I would want him to mentally prepare into game 5 or day 5. Is that how he's doing it?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, he did not start him last night. Gave him a little bit of a look-see. He pitched on Sunday, so he gave him a couple of days off. I'm imagining he should be in the lineup tonight. Right.
When is his next start? I know I hate throwing out a question on there, but when is his next start? I didn't see.
Sunday against Kansas City. So he's going. So he's going Sunday to Sunday, and imagine just get some hits in between. And I mentioned this to Jason Stark yesterday. I'm like, why not see what we got here? And the goal for me as a fan is that he's the starting American League pitcher in D.C. in July for the All-Star game and bats 3rd in the lineup. That would be incredible.
Could you imagine that? Now, the starting pitcher, that wouldn't surprise me, but if he were to, bat third as the starting pitcher, how cool would that be? Listen, I'm all in, man, and it sounds like, because I've said on MLB Network, it was kind of, he's a pitcher, because I love his stuff. And how many times do we have to see, a Chim-Ming Wong or an Adam Wainwright or a couple years ago, Charlie Morton, running down the bases and getting hurt.
Right.
God, you'd hate to see that, because I still think his future is more as a pitcher, even though as he's got 3 home runs, he's batting 360 something. That would be pretty cool if he were able to pull that off.
Yeah, I know.
Now, but wait a minute, real quick. So you mentioned, and I'm trying to.
Sure.
He's pitching every 7 days.
Well, I guess just because of the way that this all worked out this week, Chris, is that the way with off days and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think they're just going Sunday to Sunday with him. That's what it's been for the first 2 starts.
6-man rotation, huh? Yeah. That's what it looks like right now, Al. And why not? I mean, it's working. I mean, Pujols hit 616 of his career. Trout hit another bomb last night. They destroyed Texas. Them.
They look good. And they're off. I mean, Upton, I love that pickup. Of course, Trout's going to be Trout. Whatever you get from Albert, he's going to get over 3,000 hits. That's exciting. You got the best defensive shortstop in the game in Simmons. I like what they're doing. I really do. Zach Kozar, what a year he had with the Reds, holding down second base. This is a nice team.
Yeah, he's DHing today. That's official. Scioscia's putting him in the DH spot today, Al, so it'll be fun.
It's must-see. I don't know. You're out in California, right? Is that where you are?
Al, I'm telling you, Masters on one screen on Sunday, Ohtani with his perfect game on another. as he was working.
Do you think if he continues, let's just have fun here and do the crystal ball.
Let's do it.
Could it even come close to Fernando Mania in the early 80s?
People are talking about it out here already. And again, I don't want to get too over my skis here, but if Ohtani can continue on, right?
Yep.
And if he's the starting pitcher for the American League, and if I'm the manager, I'm absolutely, because they're going to bat first, put him in the 3-hole, right? Put him in the 3-hole to start things off, and then have him throw the first inning, and then take him out as a pitcher. That would be as exciting as Bo Jackson playing in the All-Star game.
That is pretty cool stuff. But guess what? It's the second start of 15 starts before they pick an All-Star.
Right.
But I like it.
Don't make me pump the brakes, Al. Don't make me pump the brakes. Is there a nickname? We've come up with a handful of them. Does Ohtani have one yet in the MLB network?
Shohei.
Oh, the Shohei kid. I've seen that.
Okay.
Right, the Shohei kid.
I kind of like that.
The big show. Shohei the money. For me, my home run call, if I was back on SportsCenter, if he goes the other way and hits one out, it would be Ohtani knocks.
Oh, I like that. Ohtani.
Will you take that? Take it. Go for it.
Ohtani knocks. I'll use it. Or I'll hand it over to Dan Plezak.
There you go. You lefties all like hanging out together. I got it. Al, thanks for the call. Take care. We'll chat soon.
My pleasure, Rich. Take care.
He's one of the best.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.